So I'm going to go into a few of the features. I'm not going to go into the great detail of every single feature in this version. There's probably about 30 to 50 features in total that we've added to this release, so it's really exciting for the amount of things that we're going to have in our tool belt when we're in the field to kind of get those POCs off the ground and move them into production licenses. So one area is templates, and the way that a customer will see our templates from a consumption standpoint will be when they come into the product and they're prompted to create a new configuration. They're going to go either guided or manual. Manual is completely blank slate. Guided has been reworked to have a set of templates we've built ahead of time. And if you look here, you'll notice I've got a couple in here already that are staged ready to go. So I can pick from a Windows 7 non-persistent VDI template. I can pick a Windows XP migration and coexistence template. I can pick a roaming profile migration template, or even a view persona migration template. And what's neat about these templates are a few things. We've built in all the things we've learned about over the years that cover everything a user would do within Windows and Office out of the box. So you're going to get your wallpaper, you're going to get your themes, you're going to get your dictionary, you're going to get your pinned items on your start menu and taskbar, you're going to get your chosen font size inside of Word or Excel, you're going to get your OST, PSTs in the right locations. All those things are going to function, your passwords, your certificates, all of those things are working inside the templates. So there shouldn't be a lot of back and forth of, okay, I still can't do this in Windows and have it stick from one desktop to another. It should all stick for the most part. The only thing that'll be missing will be if the customer kind of has a bad app. If the app is writing something in an obscure location, or they want to go in and set up like printers or drive mappings or shortcuts or custom scripts, those things would still have to be done to satisfy the customer request. But these templates are also powerful in a few other ways. We added a bunch of features in the product to make these templates universal in nature. So when it says something like, roaming profile migration or even the non-persistent VDI template, if the customer already has folder redirection set up from some other product or from Active Directory, we'll ignore those areas of the profile that are already redirected to another location. We don't care about those. But the template is set up as a best practice to redirect those, but if it sees they're already redirected, we're going to skip on and go to the next one. So the customers can have their environment set up in a few different ways. They could have no roaming profiles, a complete local profile, and they've redirected My Documents and their desktop because now it's redirected to a file server and they've got backup routines running against those files, and they feel like that's good enough. In that scenario, we can adjust, the product will automatically adjust itself to put the user from their local profile into ProfileUnity, but leave the existing redirections they have for desktop and My Documents in place. Same goes for like a roaming profile migration. They might have roaming profile set up where the profile moves back and forth from the file server, but then they've got My Documents and desktop set up for redirection for DR purposes for the user authored data, and that way roaming profiles isn't pushing it up and down as well. In that same scenario, we can take the persona, pull it and harvest it out of roaming profiles, but leave the desktop and My Documents alone where they're located. And that applies to any other part of the profile that could be redirected as well. So you wouldn't necessarily have to use these configurations. You could turn off some of the areas that you know is overlap, but at least out of the box and getting a POC up and running quickly, this is going to do it for you, the SEs and the customers, and even partners playing with the tool and get up running. I think customers could actually get up and running just about all by themselves with this type of help in the tool. So this is really exciting with the templates. And from the technical point of view, sales engineers can also build their own templates in here as well. You can export these templates and you can import these templates. So you can decide that I'm going to use, this is my healthcare template. This is my vertical template for manufacturing, for EDU. I can have my portable templates and I can move them around. When you add a template, you're basically selecting an existing configuration from the list. As you can see, I've got a lot of templates in store for this release. XenApp templates. I've got all kinds of templates, Windows XP, Windows 7, configurations I can convert to a template within the tool. This is a little more advanced. I don't see customers creating their own templates. It's going to be our sales engineers and our high-end partners creating templates. A few other highlights here. A configuration you can download. You can download a configuration, or I can back up a configuration. So this will allow me to import a configuration back in, so I can do a backup routine against the configuration in case I ever lost my my config on my file share. From an SE standpoint and partner standpoint, I can also take portability rules that I've written, and I can download those. So I can take a portability rule and move it from one installation to another. So if I can, for the partners, if they're working in specific verticals, they might run into the common set of applications that need portability set up a certain way every time. The goal would be at some point to have kind of a configuration portability exchange somewhere on the website where users can exchange those things back and forth. Everything is exportable, from configurations to portability to actual filters. You can write a filter for your customer and actually download it, and then you can send it to them, so they can import those.
Yeah, I just want to interject, Jason. This is a really big deal for ease of use and getting customers up and running, and I know the SE see it, but just to recap for sales purposes, what you could do is you could back up the entire database and configuration from ProfileUnity before and restore it, but we couldn't get granular. What this means now is we can get granular, and if an SE knows that there's something that has worked in another environment, that they've grown their own database of and toolkit over time, they can export just an individual thing and re-import it all the way from a configuration down to an individual thing. And this could get customers back up and running, or up and running, a lot quicker than going in and modifying and backing up and restoring the entire configuration, which was good, but this is just so much better.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. Definitely like the assist. I get into the technical zeros and ones, and I forget to pause. So looking at the other parts of the UI that we've streamlined, what you'll notice is in a few areas here, everything is tagged now. Required fields are tagged. Default values are set in a lot of different areas. Another really good example is portability. Portability has a lot of feature sets to it, but we wanted to shrink that down and really make it easy for the user, the 90% of our users, that all they need to worry about is, where do I save portability? And they're the simple user. They just want to put in a server path in here and drop it in. Well, we might have the advanced user like the SEs or our partners that click advanced, and now they've got all the checkboxes for all the knobs and dials that they want to turn. And as you see, all these things are set by default as well for what you should use by default when you set up a portability rule. So if the customer uses the guided configuration to get up and running, and then they work with us, and when they start speaking our language, they can understand, oh, I just got to go create a portability rule for third-party applications. I just drop in a server path, and that's it. Everything else is automatic. We've automated even things like the file name. We've automated which checkbox should be checked automatically. It's even using some of the features we put in for templates as safety features, so customers don't do double duty in their environment. They don't try to do things to and from the network too many times just by accident. So this is really exciting to see kind of this type of functionality within the user interface. Another big one we're excited about is printers. And printers are pretty boring, but they're pretty exciting in this case. When I click printers and I add a printer, I get a new option here. Before, we've had clients with thousands of printers. I mean, we even had one client overseas that had more printers than he did users in his environment. And who wants to sit in the environment and go in manual process and type in, 1,000 printers or 5,000 printers? Well, now we can add a print rule, and we can browse the print server so we can do a multi-select. I can literally come in here and I can select the printers from the print server and just check the box here, and I can add 3 printers all at one time right into the interface within seconds. So now I'm not sitting here and typing in, which I would literally have to type in this entire path for this printer, add the rule, go to the next rule, add the next printer path. So this is really going to help when it comes to getting up and running quickly from a customer point of view. There's a ton of other things. In the way that ProfileUnity is built today, we are encouraging the customer to put their ProfileUnity console online because you get live updates. It makes it easier to update the product. Also, the other area that's been updated is feature requests as well. And we can come into here and look at feature requests. If I can get to the right screen here. and I basically can type in my email address and submit a feature request. This feature request will then be voted on. The customer can vote on it, see where it's at in status, and then from my side and product management side, I can update that feature request status. Is it in development? Is it planned for? Where's it at in the cycle? So what will happen with the Zendesk support portal is I'm going to break out the Stratosphere and ProfileUnity feature request areas, and the ProfileUnity area is going to have screenshots of how to get into the console and submit your feature request here, and it'll pretty much be locked. So that you really got to go into the console to submit your feature requests through the installation of the product. That's a wrap for me, Chris.